Hi everyone, and a very warm welcome back to the second episode of our new podcast, MUSE in the DMs. I'm joined with
Lola.
And today's episode will be all about modelling, all about the modelling industry and the side of our agency that I feel like isn't spoken about as much as the creator side. So it's going to be a really nice insight into what goes on in the modelling side of things. So welcome, Lola.
Thank you so much
for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Just to get started, how did you get into the industry, and just like sort of say a little bit about yourself?
So I actually first started modelling when I was around 14. I used to actually be a dancer. Started dancing at a really young age, and I think it's all in the same environment. So as I was dancing, I started to do modelling for like dance wear, and that's how it kind of picked it up, and I just kept it going. Currently at uni, I do that. That's like my main full-time thing.
She's a baddie with brains, guys.
What can I say? And then my job is modelling and then a bit of social media. But
Oh, stunning. Well, obviously with modelling, you're like doing shoots, you're going to castings and stuff. Do you remember your first casting? Do you remember what that was like?
Yeah, I feel like I've always had good experiences with castings. They've all been quite plain sailing.
I feel like that's not a universal experience.
It definitely isn't a universal experience, but everything's always been dead good. Yeah, always had a good experience with that.
Is there anything that you do to like prep for your castings, or?
I feel like the cliche, always having a good night's sleep, is always the best. Obviously, you can be a bit nervous before you, say if it's like, you know, a new job you might be doing or whatever. Always good to have a good night's sleep. And I think having a good breakfast as well. I know people are always like, I'm not going to eat before a casting job, but you definitely should, because, you know, you need the energy. Having a good meal, having a good breakfast and sleeping, they're like my top tips. And a good skincare. Yeah, go with plain makeup. Having good skincare is always a win as well.
Oh, so, amazing.
Yeah,
so obviously I feel like recently modelling has kind of had its social ties. So if you're a model, you kind of are expected to also have a presence on social media.
Absolutely.
What sort of an aspect of modelling that you don't think people see on like Instagram or social media, like what actually does go on behind the scenes that is less glam than it seems?
I actually feel like most people, when someone asks me like, what's your job? And then you say you're a model, people think, oh, that's so easy, like, you know, just taking pictures. And I actually think it's the job itself, you're just taking pictures, but it's more of a lifestyle, I would say. Yeah. Like, it's not what you see on the day, it's the prep behind it. Like, it genuinely is a lifestyle. Like, you have to look after yourself, and it's actually the prep, I would say, is the job itself, as opposed to the actual job, you know? You know what I mean?
Like, you have to
it's all
make
about
it your life.
It's your lifestyle. But like you were saying before about the social ties and stuff like that, I think as we've gone on, I think social media is massive, obviously, and you definitely have to make your mark on there as well. I think now to be seen on Instagram and TikTok and all of that, I think that's really taken over as well, and just to be seen as well. Like, it's obviously you can go for castings and stuff like that, but I think when you leave a mark, or if somebody knows of you, it's mainly through social media.
Yeah, because were you scouted by
social media, exactly. And I think your social media, I feel like, is essentially your portfolio sometimes. Like, you can get booked through socials and whatnot. So I think that in itself, having a good Instagram and a good TikTok is generally a portfolio
like having
in itself.
Good social presence. I have noticed that a lot recently. Like, a lot of the models that were signing, models that were booking, like, they all have like a solid, solid social presence.
That's exactly what it is. It's basically saying, this is who I am, this is my style, this is what I like. It almost speaks more volume than your actual model portfolio, because they're seeing you.
Yeah,
you know?
You can see more of like the character.
And your lifestyle. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think definitely any tips would get your socials up and going for sure. Yeah,
definitely. With signing to an agency, and obviously we're quite predominantly social as well, like, what do you expect from your agent, and also what's the best piece of advice your agent has ever given you? Because I guess like the role of an agent is to guide you in the right direction.
I think again it's cliche, but being your authentic self. And I think the best piece of advice my agent or any agent could give is being yourself, being you. And I think when you're you, the jobs just fall into place. Then when you're trying to push people in a direction where I don't think
that they'll
thrive or they align with, and that's where you're going to get the most jobs as well. Like, you know, I generally just say being you is the best piece of advice, you know, your agent could give you. For sure. Yeah. It's almost like a form of manifestation. Be you, the jobs will come to you.
Like, you'll get what you want if you're just...
Exactly.
I always see that on, like, the social side of things. I know this isn't about that, but, like...
It reflects.
As soon as you start being, like, not authentic is when...
People don't relate to you as well.
And people catch on as well. Like, they'll know that that's not a true reflection of who you are. And then, like, who wants to work with someone that's not authentically
100%.
themselves? You know
Absolutely,
what I mean?
yeah, 100%.
So just on, like, castings and stuff as well, and, like, going to shoots and stuff, what song, this is a rogue one, what song really puts you in, like, runway mode? Like, you feel like America's Next Top Model?
I listen to this at the gym as well, and it's top tip if you want to, like, run a mile. Black Skinhead by Kanye West.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my God. It's just gets
And when
me.
you listen to that, you're like, I'm ready.
Yeah.
I can conquer the world.
Yeah. And if you want to run for, like, an hour straight, listen to that.
Oh, great.
On repeat.
This is fabulous advice, by the way,
top
guys.
tip.
You need these things.
Yeah, top tip. But yeah, for sure, to get me in there, to get me in the motivational baddie mood, for sure.
Baddie songs.
Yeah.
We've got
baddie songs for baddie girls.
Yeah, hell yeah. Just wondering if anything fun or weird or particularly interesting has ever happened to you in this industry, whether that be at an event or at a casting or at a shoot. Like, has anything stuck out?
Like I said earlier, casting's always been plain sailing, but events and jobs, they've not always been. But the one job that probably always will stick with me, I was doing some promo for, and we were there from 11 a.m. till 11 at night. And
that's like 12 hours.
Yeah, it was wild. And I thought it was going to be good. Like, it was good vibes. The girls there, we all got on, like, good vibes. We were obviously dressing up because of, obviously, this restaurant has a particular theme. And so it was on set. We got there early to get our hair and makeup done, and it was costume vibes. And we were dressed up as mermaids, and I was painted. All my body was blue, glitter. Yeah, weird vibe. I had a hat on that was literally like £5. I think it was £5. That's heavy, right? Yeah. Anyway, it was heavy. 6-inch heels, and it was fine. Like, you know, we could get through it, but we didn't get fed. So I was really hungry.
12 hours, no food?
No food.
In a restaurant?
This is the downside of the industry as well, right? This doesn't happen on all jobs, but, like, you know. So the only thing we had was water. And because we were getting ready for hours and hours and hours, because it was like prosthetic vibes, it was heavy. They didn't feed us. All we had was water. And then it got to, like, we were actually on job at, like, starting around 4 p.m. And 2 hours in, I ended up fainting in the middle. So the job was, like, to be at an event, like modelling at an event. So whilst I was there...
so there's an event going on.
There's an event going on, yeah. I was just, you know, there to be a model and whatever. And yeah, I ended up fainting whilst I was there. The most embarrassing thing of my life, because there were celebrities there and A-list people.
Oh
and
my God.
I had to get escorted out of the building.
Please tell me they fed you after that.
Yeah, some guy gave me, like, a massive bar of Galaxy chocolate and was like, get your sugar levels up. I was like, yeah, I need it.
Thank you.
Then at, like, for the cheek of it though, at like 11 at night, they ended up bringing pizza, but we were gone by 11:30. So I was like,
I've been here for 12 hours.
I know.
All you give,
apart
in a
from
restaurant,
that,
never mind, guys, a restaurant.
But apart from that, like, it was good vibes. And if I would have had food, it would have been fun, because they were actually giving us, like, alcohol and stuff like that. Like, I had cheeky Prosecco. And
yeah. Why would... Right. That's another
Prosecco,
issue.
but not food. That was the diet we were on, you know?
I feel like that's just such, like, a...
Yeah, it was weird.
Like, a side of the industry as well that's,
oh
like,
my God,
probably
yeah.
like... Why is that an oversight and, like, a massive...
9 times out of 10, like, brands are usually so good and they are like, you're well looked after. But yeah, the high budget event as well. It was so high
If
budget.
you've got
event.
A-listers there, then you can feed your models. You know what I mean?
But yeah, I think that was the highlight of my career, that I was dressed up as a mermaid,
I bet
head
you
to
had
toe
a bit
blue.
of like realization after that, and you were like, "What?"
Yeah, but it was more like the embarrassment. Like, oh my god, I have just fainted. Like,
Embarrassing for them.
embarrassing for them, not me.
Not embarrassing for you.
Yeah,
You were
so
still a baddie mermaid at the end.
I was a baddie mermaid in 6-inch heels, head to toe in blue and glitter. Insert
Hell
picture
yeah.
here.
Yeah, let's insert a picture.
Insert picture here. But yeah, that's probably the worst experience I've had for sure.
On that note, is there a particular highlight that stands out?
Yeah, actually, for sure. So it wasn't actually a particular job. When Chanel the runway came to Manchester, I was a test model for basically practicing the runway, and I got to see one of my favorite models of all time, Amelia Gray. She was there. That was like insane. And just the fact, like, Chanel, because obviously I'm from Manchester, the fact that they were here in the Northern Quarter on the runway,
I
like
remember
it was just,
that. It was so fab when it was happening.
it was unreal.
Yeah.
And yeah, I spent 3 days there, and we were just testing lights and stuff like that, and being a part of the Chanel team. And then obviously we got to stay, and then watch the actual models run to the runway, and that was unreal. Yeah, for sure. That was amazing. Yeah, I love that.
And then on that as well, what are you most looking forward to this year? Like what would be your like career goal, career highlight if it happened this year?
Career highlight. Do you know what? I think it's just any job abroad is probably a career, kind of like getting
flown out.
Getting to work abroad is, no matter what brand it is always the best feeling. Like, my favorite trip I've ever done was working in Paris, and I think it's just such a nice feeling, whether it's with a high-end brand or a low-end brand. It doesn't literally matter.
As long as I'm on a plane.
As long as I'm on a plane and it's all paid for.
Yeah. No, that's...
Remember that? Yeah, that's probably like the most thing I would...
So 2025 bucket list is...
2025 bucket list is just working abroad.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, flown out, you know? For
amazing.
Sure.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today,
Thank you for having
Lola.
me.
It's been amazing having you on.
Thank you so much.
And thank you guys for watching. We'll see you all in the next one.
Bye.
Yay.
Thank fuck for editing.
I know. Amazing. That was a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Amazing.